What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revival. My name is JJ, and it's time to review a Gamecube game, Baten Kaitos, Eternal Wings, and the Lost Ocean. Being a big Super Nintendo RPG fan, I can't tell you how disappointing it was for me when I saw the lack of RPGs on the Nintendo 64. The system was still phenomenal, and frankly still is, but it lacked the ability to satiate my appetite for turn-based games like those I had spent so much time on with the previous console generation. So you can imagine how excited I was when the Gamecube started showing more signs of life in regards to the genre I loved. I remember seeing TV commercials for Baten Kaitos, and I swear I even saw it in the commercials before seeing a movie at a theater. The visuals alone were enough to get my attention, and learning that it was a turn-based RPG meant I absolutely had to pick this one up. I remember playing it up to a certain point, and then, as I tended to do with so many RPGs back then, just moved on to something else without finishing it. I'm really glad I was able to check this one off the backlog this time around. The story in Baten Kaitos is actually pretty straightforward, which is funny to me considering how unique the world itself is. Aside from one crazy twist that I didn't see coming about 2/3 of the way through the game, you're basically just trying to stop an evil empire from resurrecting an old god who will wreak havoc upon the land. And when I say land, I mean floating islands in the sky, and when I say floating islands in the sky, I mean some of them include like one with a bunch of waterfalls, one that's sitting on clouds, and one that's literally made of dessert. Your party is tasked with visiting each of these islands and attempting to collect powerful Magnus from falling in the hands of the Empire. Magnus in Baten Kaitos refers to the essence of any physical object. You can trap something's Magnus into a card, which can then be used as an item in battle or to complete NPC requests. If you've ever seen Dragon Ball, think of it as something like a Dino Cap. The whole world of Baten Kaitos revolves around these Magnus. When I first decided I wanted to review this game, I remembered having a pretty positive opinion of the card battling system from when I played it years ago. It's your standard turn-based JRPG battling, but each character has their own unique deck that you build from scratch. You play multiple cards per turn, and can form combos if you're able to match elements or create simple poker hands like straights and two or more of a kind from the numbers listed on each card. For the most part, I did enjoy it. Until I didn't. The problem is that you get upgrades so often, and you only have like a finite amount of cards that you can keep in your deck. Not to mention some cards actually change over time. Like you use food to heal yourselves, and if you put food in your deck, eventually it'll wear out into like a rotting food, which will either heal for like 1 HP or like completely do damage to your whole party or one character or something like that. You can use it as an attack in some cases. But you have to switch that out as well. Cards can also get better over time, like a stick of bamboo turning into a fishing pole that does more damage. All these things added up made it to where I felt like I was tediously spending way more time in menus than I was actually exploring and working my way through the story. Outside of that, there are plenty of puzzles to solve, dungeons to explore, and fetch quests to complete. It's like Baten Kaitos is super unique in some aspects while being extremely generic in others. While I started out excited to get back into the gameplay, I have to admit it's one of the biggest drawbacks for me after playing it from start to finish. The visuals in Baten Kaitos are easily its greatest feature. No matter which island you're on, there's so much to take in by way of vibrant colors and breathtaking scenery. Each island is vastly different from the one before it, and while the characters themselves do look a little goofy, the animations are fluid and the special effects make each battle a joy to watch. The music is very reminiscent of a Tales of game. If you've enjoyed Motoi Sakuraba's work in the past, you'll feel right at home with the soundtrack to Baten Kaitos. Full of energy and upbeat rock, There were only a few times where I didn't find myself bobbing my head along with the music, and those times were mainly when I was stuck in an area for far too long and ready to move on. However, I wish I could say the same for the sound itself. The voice acting is atrocious, and most of it sounds like they're talking out of tin cans. At first I thought it might be a setting on my TV, but after looking around online, I saw it was a common problem. The only way to make it bearable was to either change the sound output to mono or to turn off the voice acting entirely. Aside from the voice acting, the sound effects are serviceable, but you can still hear that same faint tin can effect in most cases. So overall, I think Baten Kaitos is a good game. It's not great, it's not the best game I've ever played by any stretch, but it is a solid, well-built game. There's a really good foundation here. The mechanics are good. They could just use some fine-tuning in the way of efficiency and kind of making it to where you're not like doing the most repetitive things over and over again, like I mentioned with having to change out your deck constantly. I just spent way too much time in those menus, which got really frustrating. And then obviously the sound issues, that was extremely awful to listen to. I'm really happy I found somebody that mentioned online about turning it to mono, because I honestly would have had to play without voice acting otherwise. It was just really bad, but the music itself was good. So, and like I said, the world, story's fine, but the world is like gorgeous. I love the aesthetics in this game. It's absolutely beautiful. You really go to some cool, unique places, and there's a really cool twist in the story that's that I didn't see coming. That, you know, is a pretty big risk to take storytelling-wise. So I thought it was kind of neat, and it you know, works out. There's a few moments, but other than that, I enjoyed it, and I think it's worth checking out. You may not finish it, to be honest with you. Kind of like when I first played it, just kind of got through it, and now I understand why, because I didn't remember it. I was like, I thought I liked that game. I wonder why I never finished it. It is what it is. Yeah, so I mean, if you got it and you see it and you want to check it out and you're an RPG fan, you could definitely do way worse than this. It's a solid game. So yeah, if you get the chance, give it a shot. Why not? Tell me what you think, or if you have played it, let me know what you think, because I'm curious as to how other people felt about this game. Because I honestly don't know very many people who have played it, much less beaten it. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, keep on gaming.